Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Nuges, manager with MoDOT's Equal Opportunity and Diversity Division, and I am privileged to welcome you all to our 11th annual Day of Remembrance ceremony. Today, we gather to honor the memory of the 139 MoDOT employees who gave their lives in service of the citizens of Missouri. First, I'd like to take a few moments to recognize the families of our fallen workers who are here with us today. The family of Brian Keith Perry, the family of Caitlin Anderson and her unborn son, Jax Jarvis, the family of Lyndon Epker, the family of Eugene George, the family of Jeffrey McBride. Are there any families I've missed? We would also like to acknowledge Mark Frazen's attendance at today's event. Mark was injured in a work zone crash in 2009 when the truck mounting attenuator he was driving was struck by an 18-wheeler. A special thank you go out to each of you. Thank you so much for coming. There aren't words to describe your sacrifices and the loss of your loved ones while they were serving our state. Please know you are always in our thoughts. I also want to recognize our Ride for Remembrance group who rode here today from St. Louis to honor our fallen highway heroes and raise money for the 1033 Benevolent Fund. As most of you know, the Benevolent Fund provides financial assistance to the families of state employees who tragically lose their lives in the line of duty. So thank you to everyone who joined this ride to honor the memories of all of the workers who have been lost on the job and raise money for this fund. I know how heartfelt this day is for our employees and to those family members who are here with us today as we pay tribute to those we've loved and lost. Our partners from the Missouri State Highway Patrol, Troop F, will begin our ceremony. Will our color guard please post our colors?
Please. Preach, man.
Now please join me in saying our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Read. Peace. Over. Say. Say. Say.
Thank you, Troop F. We appreciate you being here with us today. You are a great friend and partner. Now, please welcome our director, Patrick McKenna.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. As John mentioned, this is our 11th annual Day of Remembrance. Each year, as we honor our fallen, we gather at this memorial, which is more than just the names of those we've lost. It represents parents, siblings, grandparents, spouses, friends, and coworkers. They were public servants to the citizens of Missouri, and today we honor their memory. We will not forget the sacrifice and the sacrifice of their families. Although they will be forever missed, their spirit lives on. Unfortunately, today, We're also mourning the recent loss of Charles Toller, a senior equipment technician in our Southwest District. Charles had been with MoDOT for more than 15 years, but on July 24, he was performing mechanical work when he was killed in a vehicular incident near Mount Vernon. Charles was a dedicated husband, father, employee, and community member. In addition to his service at MoDOT, Charles was an assistant fire chief and held many other roles in his community. He was a coach, family farmer. He was a leader. He was a friend. Many people aren't aware of just how much sacrifice has been made by families and MoDOT team members in our 100-year history. When we attended Charles's funeral, I would say there were probably more than 2,000 people present. He was the kind of person that was a friend to everyone he met. In every storm over his 15-year career, he did whatever it took to make sure our team had what they needed to get the job done. He reflects the best of MoDOT. There was nothing but love for him in his community. As a young man, Charles lived a full life, but he should have lived a longer life with his loving and caring family, his friends, his coworkers, and his community. We come together today to honor Charles and all of our MoDOT family who are no longer with us and who are symbolized by this memorial. Here at MoDOT, we're continuing to work to improve the safety of all of our employees. It's one of our core values, and it's our most important value. I hope to never put another name on this memorial. Everyone at MoDOT is dedicated to doing everything within our power to make sure that ourselves and our coworkers get home safely every day. Though this is a solemn occasion, I'd also like to express gratitude, deep gratitude, to Governor Parson for who righted recently what we considered to be a 100-year wrong. On July 31, 2023, for the first time in MoDOT's 100-year history, in all of the loss we've suffered while actively serving this state and its travelers, we were officially recognized by the state. In honor and memory of Charles Toller, the governor allowed our Southwest District and here at our headquarters in central office to fly the Missouri flag at half staff. Moving forward, we want to extend this push to fight for our employees to be officially recognized and federally recognized as first responders, as they deserve no less. We're going to bring this action and try to change federal law to expand the definition of first responders to include public works workers. They deserve no less. Their sacrifice is no less than others. And it doesn't detract one bit from those in the first responder community who, when they lose their life in the service of this state and in this country, are honored reasonably and respectfully by the public they serve by lowering the flag. We want to have that done at the federal level as well. I want to thank you all for being here today and for letting me be a part of this tribute. It's so important that we remember and honor the service of those that have paid the ultimate price. And I also wanted to take just a moment, although not somebody that gave their life in the sacrifice during work, but I want to recognize one of our safety advocates, a true safety advocate at MoDOT over her 22-year career, who just lost a courageous battle, health battle this past week and will be laid to rest tomorrow, Marissa Ellison, who is no longer with us. But I wanted to acknowledge and take a moment for everybody to think about Marissa and her family. She's one of the passionate advocates that help keep our employees safe, one of the countless people at MoDOT dedicated to that very purpose. And in her honor, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge her service and to remember her to her family. Her husband, Rick, was also a MoDOT family member, and she'll be laid to rest tomorrow. I want to thank everybody for being here to honor the fallen. I want to thank the families for your sacrifice and your service, and to all of MoDOT to understand that our commitment to you is to keep you safe while you're doing this important work, despite the behavior of drivers out there and others. We continue to push forward with safety, and I'm pleased to be a part of that. I want to turn it over to Natalie Rourke now for some additional words. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Good afternoon. As we prepare to honor the memory of our fallen workers by reading their names, I want to say how humbling it is for me to be here with you all today. These 139 individuals were loyal, talented, hard-working employees who were dedicated to their jobs, their coworkers, and the state of Missouri. And they were taken from their families and from our MoDOT family much too soon. Reading the names of our fallen is not only symbolic, but is a personal way of remembering these individuals who paid the ultimate price for being a public servant. We speak their names to honor them and to keep their memories alive. Today, we have employees of MoDOT from across the state who volunteered to read the names of their fallen coworkers. Like me, I know they feel privileged to be involved with this very important part of the ceremony. Now, to honor and pay tribute to these 139, we will read the names of those we have lost.
Good afternoon. I'm Lee Perkins. I'm with the Northwest District. I'll be reading the fallen workers that we've had from that area since 1954. William Art Walker, Lloyd M. Land, L. Ed Doyle, Cleo Road, Joe W. Houston, Roy E. Murphy, Kenneth Hasbrook, Claude Atkinson, Donald Wyatt, Lawton Roberts, Clarence Ingalls, Ivan Ramsey, Thomas Snuffer, Otis N. Stretch, Joseph Hughes, Larry E. Graves, Randy Joe Munsterman, and Wendell O'Neill.
My name is Kevin Wolf, and I will be reading the names of the fallen workers of the Northeast District. E. E. Baker, Henry Beckman, James Carmichael, Harold Hess, Danny Leake, Elmer Lean, Donna Lindsay, Robert Bob Mayer, William Mitchell, Sidney Mitchell, George Pfeiffer, and Lowell Tallman.
Hello, my name is Nicole Scott, and I will be reading the names for the Kansas City District. Howard Anderson, Floyd Ash, Minton Burrow, William Caldwell Jr., Garth Camden, Burl Chambers, Lloyd Crawford, Clarence Foster, Leroy Hall, Melvin Harris, Ray Edward Hayer, Calvin Johnson Jr., Marilyn Keller, Gary Dean Kirby, Devere Limbacher, Julie Love, John Mather, Joseph Saunders, Clifton Scott, Craig Shields, Harry Simmers, Daniel Taylor, Henry Woolgamuth, Mike York.
My name's Brad Stoodle, and I'll be reading the names from the Central District. William Barnes, Christopher Block, Harry Davis, Joseph Embry, Lafayette Essery, James Glenn, Wayne Hall, Gerald Lazat, Thomas Mertz, William Mosley, Brian Keith Perry, Charles Shilb, Frederick Trowbridge.
My name is Allison Talley, and I will be reading the names from Central Office. Gregory Coleman, Cecil Jefferson, Dwayne Pace, James Schwartz, Russell Tynes, and James Walther.
My name is Cheryl Dawson, and I will be reading the names from the St. Louis District. Caitlin Anderson and her unborn son, Jax Jarvis. Robert Ite, Perry Barks, James Brooks, Otis Katz, William Carr, David Cook, Charles DiNatale, Lyndon Ebker, Theodore Ellman, Adolph Faith, Eugene George, August Glosmeyer, Arthur Gordon, Nicole Graham, Ken Hoyerman, Marvin Lewis, Larry Licklider, Jeffrey McBride, Randy Nail, Robert Reckenton, Roland Resch, Roy Robertson, Houston Schrum, Leonard Simon, John Smith, Gerard Steern, William Wida, and Everett Young.
My name is Mike Vienicutter, and I will be reading the names for the Southwest District. John Allman, Paul Atchley, Carla Boblitz, Everett L. Bullock, James Buddy Campbell, William Crane II, Preston Pete Ellington, Edward N. Merle Grayson, Rick Harmon, John Hawkins, Paul Holt, Wesley Jones, Pete Menard, James Minton, Cal Mummy, William T. Billy Tom Pasley, Charles Rogers, Milo Schuler, Joshua Slatton, Charles Eugene Charlie Toller, Bert Van Atta, Arthur Walker Jr., and Terry Washam.
My name is Barbara Schumacher, and I'll be reading the names for the Southeast District. James Brannick, Homer Bratton, Irvin Cudworth, Bob Eftink, Dennis Evans, Gary Farenberg, Archie Good, Dennis Haynes, Johnny Haynes, Curtis Mullins, Ellis Suggs, Herschel Tanner, Silas Underwood, and George Whited.
Thank you. Would everyone please join me in a moment of silence to honor our fallen workers? Thank you. I'd now like to introduce you to our Chief Safety and Operations Officer, Becky Almaroth, to close out today's ceremony.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here today. We all know that transportation work is dangerous. That's evident with the 139 names on this memorial. And we see the impact that this carries with these family members that are here with us today. These employees were humble public servants, just doing their jobs. When something unexpected and tragic happened that would change the lives of so many forever. As Director McKenna said, we're always working to improve the safety for our employees. We've recently been working to review and improve our safety policies and implement new guidelines for our employees, and we're continually pushing our Buckle Up, Phone Down challenge. The campaign we've had more than 37,000 pledges across Missouri, and more than a dozen. We're actually pushing up on almost half of the states now that are following suit. We will never stop working towards zero injuries and zero deaths on Missouri roads, as well as zero employees lost in the line of duty. Let's take a moment to recommit ourselves to working safely. This is something we did at the very first day of Remembrance, over 11 years ago, and I believe it's very fitting that we continue to do this every year. Recommitting ourselves to doing everything we can to work safely is one more way that we can honor our fallen workers and their families. Never adding another name to this memorial is another. Each of us must make a personal commitment to do everything in our power to protect ourselves and our coworkers. Let's all recommit ourselves to working safely every day by reciting our safety pledge, which is printed on the bottom of your program. Please join me in reciting it. My safety commitment. Safety is one of MoDOT's core values. I will fulfill my moral obligation to the public, my coworkers, and myself to safely carry out our mission. Thank you again for being here today to honor our fallen highway heroes. And a special thank you to you, the family members that are here with us today. Take your time today as you leave. Feel free to spend some time at the monument for as long as you like. And please remember to be safe. Thank you.